What would you do if your mother's freedom depended on stealing the most fiercely guarded treasure in all the worlds? This is the story of Garuda, the mighty king of birds, a being born with unmatched strength, destined to challenge the heavens themselves. Yet his greatest battle was never for power, it was for a promise made to his mother. Long before Garuda took flight, a single choice, a moment of impatience, and an ancient wager set destiny into motion. This is a story of courage, sacrifice, and a son whose devotion would make him immortal in legend. Long ago, the great Rishi Kashyapa lived with his wives, Vinata and Kadru. Though they lived in peace, both longed for the joy of becoming mothers. Seeing their heartfelt desire, Kashyapa asked them to choose the blessing they wished to receive. Kadru stepped forward first. She asked for 1,000 mighty sons, each strong, fearless, and powerful. Kashyapa accepted her wish and assured her that it would be fulfilled in time. Vinata chose differently. Instead of many children, she wished only for 2 sons, but each greater in strength, wisdom, and glory than all of Kadru's 1,000 sons combined. Kashyapa smiled. Pleased with her noble wish, he granted it. As the time passed, Kadru laid 1,000 eggs, while Vinata laid only two. The eggs were carefully placed in warm vessels and patiently protected, for their children would take many years to emerge. Years turned into decades, and decades into centuries. Nearly 500 years passed. At last, Kadru's eggs began to hatch, one after another, filling the world with 1,000 serpent sons. Vinata watched with happiness for her sister, but her own 2 eggs remained completely still. Every day, Vinata looked upon her unbroken eggs, hoping they would finally hatch, but as more time passed, hope slowly gave way to impatience. She wondered why her children had not yet come into the world. Unable to bear the waiting any longer, Vinata made a decision she would soon regret. Believing something had gone wrong, she gently broke open one of the 2 eggs before its time. From the broken shell emerged a radiant child, but his body was incomplete. Though filled with brilliance, he had not yet fully developed. This was Aruna, whose birth had been interrupted before the proper time. Looking at his mother with sadness, Aruna told Vinata that her impatience had deprived him of a complete birth. He warned that every action carries its consequence, even when driven by love or worry. Before departing, Aruna asked his mother not to disturb the second egg. Be patient, he said. When the proper time arrives, your second son will be born in all his greatness. With those words, he left, while Vinata resolved never again to let impatience overcome her. After Aruna's departure, silence returned to Vinata's home. Remembering her son's words, she patiently cared for the remaining egg, determined never again to let impatience cloud her judgment. Many years passed. Then, one day, the remaining egg began to glow with a brilliant light. Fine cracks spread across its shell, and Vinata watched with hope, knowing the long wait was finally coming to an end. From the broken shell emerged a magnificent child unlike any the world had ever seen. His golden form shone with extraordinary brilliance, and his mighty wings stretched wide as though they could embrace the very sky. Vinata knew that her second son had finally arrived. He was Garuda. Garuda grew with astonishing speed. Each passing day his strength increased beyond imagination. His golden feathers shimmered like sunlight, and his presence alone filled those around him with wonder. As Garuda spread his mighty wings for the first time, powerful gusts swept across the forest and fields. Birds, animals, and people alike looked toward the heaven in amazement, witnessing a being whose greatness was evident from birth. Garuda soared high above mountains, rivers, and endless forests. The vast earth stretched beneath him, while the open sky became his natural home. His speed, grace, and strength surpassed every other creature that flew. Though blessed with immense power, Garuda remained humble. After exploring the world, he returned to his mother with love and respect, eager to remain by her side and learn from her wisdom. As they sat together beneath the shade of an ancient tree, Garuda noticed a sadness in Vinata's face that she could no longer hide. Though she smiled for her son, her eyes carried the weight of a long hidden burden. Unable to ignore her sorrow, Garuda gently asked, "Mother, why do I always see sadness in your eyes? What troubles your heart?" His words came not from curiosity alone, but from deep love he held for her. Vinata looked upon her son and realized the time had come to reveal the truth. Taking a deep breath, she began to speak of the events that had bound her life to sorrow, setting in motion the journey that would change the worlds forever. Vinata gently told Garuda that long before he was born, she and Kadru had made a wager. What had begun as a simple dispute had changed the course of their lives forever. She explained how she had lost that wager through deception rather than truth. Bound by her own word, she became Kadru's servant. From that day onward, she had lived in humiliation, carrying out every command without complaint. Garuda listened in silence as his mother described years of hardship. Each day she had faithfully served Kadru, not because she lacked strength, but because she would never break a promise once it had been given. As Vinata spoke, Garuda recalled the many times he had seen his mother attending to Kadru without understanding why. Now every memory suddenly made sense, and his heart filled with both sorrow and anger. Garuda looked at his mother with unwavering determination. "Mother," he said, "no one who has shown me such love should live in sorrow. Tell me how I can free you from this bondage." Vinata lowered her eyes. "The answer does not lie with me," she replied. "Only Kadru and her sons can release me from the promise that binds us. You must ask them what they demand." Garuda bowed respectfully before his mother. "Then I shall go at once. Whatever the price may be, I will do everything within my power to earn your freedom." Without delay, Garuda approached Kadru and the serpent brothers. They looked upon the mighty young bird with curiosity, wondering why he had come before them. Standing tall yet respectful, Garuda spoke clearly. "My mother has faithfully served you for many years. Tell me what must be done so that she may once again live in freedom." The serpent leaders exchanged knowing glances. They already had an answer prepared, one so difficult that no ordinary being could hope to accomplish it. Calmly, they began to reveal the condition upon which Vinata's freedom depended. The serpent chief remained silent for a moment, studying Garuda carefully. Before them stood a being of extraordinary strength, yet they believed they knew of a task that no one could accomplish. At last, one of the serpent leaders stepped forward and spoke. "You seek your mother's freedom. Such freedom cannot be given without a price." Garuda met their gaze without hesitation. "Whatever that price may be, tell me. I shall do everything within my power to fulfill it." The serpent leader continued. "There exists a vessel containing the Amrita, the nectar of immortality. It is guarded with the greatest care, beyond the reach of ordinary beings. If you can bring that vessel to us," the serpents declared, "your mother shall be released from her bondage. Only then will our promise be fulfilled." For a brief moment, silence filled the gathering. The task before Garuda was unlike anything ever attempted. It demanded courage beyond measure, yet his determination never wavered. Garuda raised his head and answered without fear, "If this alone can free my mother, then I shall obtain the Amrita, no matter how difficult the journey." The serpent brothers looked at one another in astonishment. They had expected hesitation, perhaps even fear. Instead, they saw only unwavering resolve in Garuda's eyes. Garuda turned away from the assembly and walked back towards his mother. Though the path ahead was unknown, his heart held only one purpose: to break the chains that bound Vinata and restore her freedom. A quest had begun that would take Garuda across the mountains, forests, and even into the realms of the gods. To save his mother, he would challenge dangers that no mortal had ever dared to face. But first, he would have to prepare for the impossible. To know what happens next, please like this video, subscribe to the Tales of Sanatana, and press the bell icon so you never miss a new story from our ancient scriptures.